to Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage. It is Monday, August 5th. We're already in the month of August. Holy crap, the summer flew by. Pretty soon, we're going to be talking about October baseball. We're going to be talking about more NFL. It's going to be college football. It is madness now, right? We're getting close. The dog days of summer did not seem to take as long as the dog days of summer usually do. You know, that's where I'm getting at, is it seems like it wasn't that long, and here we are. We're sitting in August. So, great day today. Great day here in the great state of Wisconsin, or wherever you are listening. I have Autumn with me today here. Autumn, how we doing on this Monday?
Doing pretty good. You know, not excited to go back to work this week, but I mean, it was just such a good weekend that it just sucks that it's over. But overall, I'm doing pretty good.
I just miss work when I'm gone, so I just want to go back. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just miss it. You just miss it. I'm just kidding. Nobody misses it that much, right? So, I mean, lots of good stuff happened some good stuff, some not so good stuff. We're probably this is going to be, we used to have our overreaction Mondays. I'm going to have an overreaction today. I might blow up. And we just gotta let it flow. Right? So, I mean, we saw one good thing come out. Well, it can't really be bad, I guess you could say. There could be bad pieces to it. But the Green Bay Packers had their family night in Green Bay there. And if you ask Bears and Lions fans, it's like, who really cares? Blah, blah, blah. The Packers have this family night, and they're starting to look at players and everything like that. And what is, they talk about, there's like, what? I mean, it was like a sold-out crowd at Lambeau. Well, what else are people supposed to do in Green Bay, Wisconsin during that time, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, you're just upset because we just had a practice where we sold more tickets than what you guys can sell to a regular game. I'm talking to Vikings, Lions, and Bear fans all together. You're just upset because we just sold more tickets for a practice where nothing's really happening, right? We sold more tickets for that than you guys can sell for a regular season game. I just thought that was funny. Seeing all over social media, fans, right? Your fans out there of opposing teams basically trying to get at the Packers for this event that they hold every single year. And it's like, oh, come on there. So we did see a lot of good stuff. We saw a lot of good stuff come out of there. I want to get into some of the key performers that I saw throughout there. And my top one was the little dude. I don't even know how old he was. He wasn't very old at all. And they had him out there for the special teams competition there where they were trying to see how many balls they could catch, right? So Keyshawn Nixon, Jair Alexander was down there, and Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed was the other one. And they, you catch one, you had to hold on to that one while you tried to catch the next one, and then you had to keep holding on to him as you went. So I think Jaden Reed ended up with, I believe he ended up with 6. There. Jair had like 3, whatever. So then these little kids come out there. And first kid, he caught one, couldn't catch the second one. Well, then this next kid comes out there. He catches 3. He catches 3 of them. This kid is maybe 10, right? Maybe 10, maybe 12. He's in that range. He's a young little guy. And he's out there with helmet on, right? Makes it even tougher, right? Wearing a football helmet, trying to catch at the same time. If you're not used to it, it could be, a little bit difficult there. And he catches 3 of them. He catches one, puts in an arm, catches the other one, catches in between. And the greatest thing you saw was the whole team, Jair and Jaden Reed, those guys, Keyshawn Nixon, right on top of him right away. They're all jumping with him. And then the whole team, Jordan Love, everybody comes running down, and they're in a huddle surrounding this kid, just going absolutely nuts. I love that. That was, I would say, one of the highlights outside of the actual play of some of the players out there. That was a definite highlight of that one, seeing that. But outside of that, some of the standouts from this one, I saw Javion Bullard. He was, a ball hawk. That's all you can say about him, a ball hawk out there in the safety spot. Playing the opposite of McKinney, right? They had him out there playing the opposite of McKinney there and forcing a few incompletions there. Kalen King was also in that same kind of setup there. He was on a nickel blitz, I believe, and he had you would have called it a sack, right? You'd call it a so-called sack there in quotations. There's no wrecking people, right? Except for there was a little bit of a scary moment, a little bit of a collision that we're going to talk about here. Outside of that, we saw, those two have some pretty good performances there, and Dobbs was very high on what he saw out of Bullard. He said ever since OTAs, he's been making plays. Glad to have a guy like him on the team. I believe his growth is going to be really good because we have experienced guys in the defense. Sky's the limit for him. Nothing better than being a rookie coming in and you're getting high praise from some of the receivers on this team. Some pretty good receivers, right? Romeo Dobbs had a fantastic family night. Fantastic. I mean, he's had fantastic OTAs, everything. He's been fantastic through the whole thing. But on family night, he was all over the place. Getting high praise from guys like Jair, who he's burned a couple times, and a lot of people are saying, well, maybe Jair's just not that good. Jair's still good, right? Jair's still playing good football. Romeo Dobbs and these receivers are just getting better, right? And that's good. That's good news on both sides there of the ball. Other things that I saw there, Anders Carlson, really bad in practice. He's had some bad practices there, but he was 8 for 9 on attempts. Joseph was solid. Greg Joseph there was solid, finishing 7 for 9. Overall, Carlson is 33 of 39. Joseph is 35 of 39. I mean, that's tight. That's a close one. You can flip a coin on who you want to make your kicker every day, and then the other guy just gets cut. That's basically where you're going to be sitting with this at the end. It's just if you want to roll the dice with Anders Carlson once again. Do you want to roll that dice? We saw how it went last season. Do you want to risk it again, or do you want to bring in a different option, right? Do you want to bring in a different option and see how it works? I don't know. That's tough. That's tough because it is such a close kicking race that it adds a little bit more spice to it, right? So now there's a lot of work to do yet before now and preseason into regular season games where they're going to have to decide who's going to be your everyday guy and who are we going to let go. You know, that's going to be something to watch there. Quay Walker, he looked good. I thought Quay Walker looked good at family night there. I think, you know, getting into a lot of these defenders here, a lot of the defensive talk, Halfley's defense is going to benefit these guys tremendously. Right? Getting after guys, more of an aggression. You know, when a team's backed up, you know, 3rd and 15, he's not going to back off, right? He's not going to play this prevent. He's going to look to still get after the quarterback. He's going to look to make it even worse on that offense. And that's something that, you know, the Packers really didn't do. They weren't as aggressive. And this aggressive defense works into the favor of some of these guys, like Quay Walker, like Rashawn Gary, some of these guys up the middle there. So love to see that. In that factor, I mean, as we've seen so far, the defensive front is controlling the line of scrimmage. And you can take that one of two ways, right? You're still early on yet, and the offensive line isn't fully healthy, right? We're still waiting on, I believe Zach Tom is supposed to be returning to 11 on 11 soon. Also, Tucker Kraft will be coming back. So you're going to get Zach Tom back at his normal spot there. And then, you know, these guys have been doing well. These guys have been doing well in, you know, outside of one-on-ones. One-on-ones is where this offensive line has struggled so far. So that'd be something to watch there. As they start to get a little more mesh, right? They got to get with these guys. They got to stick together here and then slowly grow here, getting towards preseason, getting towards regular season. So something to watch there on the offensive line, but the defensive line has looked good, right? Defensive line has looked good. That's something to hang your hat on right now. That's something to hang your hat on. Sean Gary has looked unreal coming off the edge for this defense. So something to keep an eye on there, offense and defensive-wise. Outside of that, linebackers and safeties, like I was talking with the defense there, those guys are all over the place, swarming the football, getting after guys, getting after the ball carrier, and getting to the line of scrimmage and getting beyond the line of scrimmage, right? You love to see it. You love to see it, and I'm going to attribute a lot of this talk right now to Jeff Affleck. That defensive scheme, everything that he's drawn up right now. What I'm hearing about this guy is not just when Keyshawn Nixon's talking and he's this great guy, you know, relatable, funny guy, you know, this great coach. Yeah, okay. But he isn't afraid to challenge Matt LaFleur. He isn't afraid to get after Matt LaFleur and say, hey, let's not do it like this. Let's do it this way, you know, and really get after him. That's what I think something that's going to benefit this team is another voice in the room outside of LaFleur's and another good voice in the room. We had Barry, right? Another good voice in the room where you can trust this guy to be able to set up the defense, get everything rolling. And then LaFleur can do something else, right? He has the liberty to go out and get ready for the offensive side of the ball. Do his coaching job, not have to worry about just the defense, right? Because we saw that a lot last year. Had to worry about the defense. He was calling defensive plays. I don't need LaFleur to do that. I want a defensive coordinator in the room who's going to be able to do that for himself. That's what we're getting with Hafley right now. So I love that. Love that out of Hafley. I was just talking about the offensive line there. We saw Rasheed Walker at left tackle. We saw Elton Jenkins at left guard, Myers at center, Jordan Morgan at right guard. And then the second unit was made up of a lot of guys there, looking at Royce Newman, Jacob Monk, Sean Ryan, Telford, and Dillard there. Ryan saw some snaps at left guard there with the starters for the first time since camp began. We saw Jordan Morgan working the other at a position other than right guard, with him lining up at left tackle there with the twos to end the practice. So he was just working around there. They're trying to fit pieces, right? And that's the big thing here early on, is you can't judge it right now. You got to let Matt LaFleur is going to try to work around his offensive line, see who's going to fit where, see which five are going to mesh the best. That's what he's going to roll out there, right? And it might change early on in the season there. Injuries happen, whatever, But I am excited. I am excited with this offensive line to get together and just see what happens there. So with this one, we saw a lot of guys in. We saw a lot of guys out of practice there. So Josh Myers was back he's been out for a little bit there. We saw him back for Thursday and Friday's practice there. Josh Jacobs did go through warmups, but did not practice. So he did not practice Thursday with a groin injury, but said at his locker afterwards that if it was a game, he would have been out there. Still not practicing. Tucker Kraft, like I just talked about, he's expected back soon. Carrington Valentine, Edgerrin Cooper, I can't wait to get that guy back. Donovan Jennings there, Deslin, Alexander, Kashawn Banks, and new addition, J.J. Engelbar was also put on there. Another guy I want to get back onto this defense there, because playmakers, right? Playmakers on the defensive side of the ball there. Jacobs, like I just said there, he said in his quote there about practice being just in the warmups, we already knew. Like I said, I could have practiced the other day. If it's not that serious of an issue, I'll be okay. So that's good news there. Josh Jacobs in good spirits. He knows he's good. Just trying to rest it. Doesn't want to make it worse. Wants to be ready to go when it comes down to start of the regular season, right? Because if you aggravate something now, it could get worse as you move on there. So good news there on that front is that we will see Josh Jacobs back pretty soon here. Tucker Kraft back soon. Zach Tom back soon. That's a big one for me. That's a big one for me, is getting Zach Tom back there on that offensive line. That'll be some good stuff. So, family night done and over with. We move on. Like I said, we're in August already. We're getting closer and closer to the kickoff of the season here. So, lots of good stuff, lots of news, breaking news, everything that we'll get to. Some positional battles that will be happening, that will be getting decided here down the get-go, especially in the kicking room, right? Somebody's got to come out on top. We'll see how that all ends up there. So lots to get into as we go on with the week and the month here. So with that, getting to some NBA talk for the day here. Steve Kerr came out. They're talking about Team USA. Team USA got a big win over Puerto Rico. Went undefeated in their group, right? Went undefeated there. And they got the win. A great win for Team USA. And Steve Kerr came out after they talked to him a little bit, and he said, I have no intentions of starting Kevin Durant for the rest of the Olympics, he stated. If Kevin would have been here from day one, chances are he would be, but for now, he's coming off the bench, right? So what you gather out of that is Steve Kerr's kind of being, a good coach in this situation, right? A lot of coaches would walk into the room, they see Kevin Durant, they see LeBron, they're like, these are the guys that are starting, right? I need to have these perennial all-stars. That's my guys. He kind of said, no, you weren't here day one. We worked through all this stuff. We had all these guys together for the fun games, as you would call them, the getting ready to go games. We had all these other guys in there. They were working. They were, meshing together, and then you just showed up. So you're going to be coming off the bench, and that's just going to be how it is. I like that. I like that decision. I like that decision a lot by Steve Kerr. I'm glad he made it that way. Kevin Durant was not there. He had other stuff, was not there, showed up late. This is what you get. Love that. Love that Steve Kerr there. So just a little bit of a tid out of the NBA there. So with that, before we move on, I want to get to our great sponsors of our show here quick. First, Game Day Supply in Alaska. Do you have a sports club or team? Are you looking for some sweet custom uniforms or apparel? Check out the awesome crew at Game Day Supply in Alaska to help your team get the sweetest gear. Find them on Facebook at Game Day Supply or online at GameDaySupply.net. Also, Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. If you've been injured recently, whether it's at work, whether you were mowing the lawn, whatever you were doing, playing with the kids, and you felt some pop tear, something that shouldn't have felt like that, and you think you need to see a physical therapist, maybe your doctor said go see a physical therapist there. Stop in there and see Chad at Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood. He'll get you right. He'll get you back to work, back mowing the lawn, back playing with the kids, feeling better than ever. Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood. Sports Scene, Sports Cards, and Memorabilia, located in the Marshfield Mall in Marshfield, Wisconsin. Get down there and see Al. He has everything you need, from sporting cards to memorabilia, jerseys, model stock cars. He's got it all. Sports Scene in Marshfield. Marshfield Motor Speedways there, located just 3 miles outside of Marshfield on County Road H. Get down there this summer yet. Tons of family fun for all ages, great food, great drinks, great atmosphere. Nothing better than a great summer day or night down at the track. So Marshfield Motor Speedways there. Pittsville Farm and Home Center. At the store, they serve you anything from hydraulic hoses to red roses. Stop in and see the awesome crew at Pittsville Farm and Home Center in Pittsville, Wisconsin. And also your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty. Call Peggy, Sue, or Anna to find your dream home, or if you're looking to sell. Find them on Facebook at your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty, or stop in and see them at their location in Marshfield there. So with that, we got to get over to Autumn here. We got to get to Autumn's tidbits of the day. What do we got, Autumn?
Event of the year, Bobby Finke claims the first gold in an individual event by a male U.S. swimmer. Noah Lyles is the first American since 2004 Athens Olympics to bring home the 100-meter men's gold medal. Apparently, it was literally, they've compared it to, if you've seen Cars, Lightning McQueen sticks his tongue out with Chick and Dynaco. That's how close it was. So it was a big win for the For that event, Grant Fisher earns America's second 10,000-meter medal in 56 years and won the bronze. Team USA dominated in the 4x400-meter mixed relay and set a new world record of 3 minutes and 7 seconds. Katie Ledecky continues to do amazing at the Olympics here and has made history by having the most all-time medals by an American female Olympian. Saturday, she secured her 9th Olympic gold medal. Kristen Faulkner won the gold yesterday in the women's road race cycling with a time of 3 hours and 59 minutes and 23 seconds. This race is 158 kilometers, which is equivalent to 98 miles. On Saturday, Simone Biles secured her 7th gold medal for the Olympics after winning the women's vault, making this more than any gymnast in men's or women's history, and the second most all-time by an American female Olympian. In that same event, Jade Carey won a bronze medal, making it the first time the U.S. has won 2 medals in the women's vault in the same Olympics. Just an interesting fact I saw for Simone Biles. Since 1976, every Olympic all-around champion has been under the age of 20, and Simone Biles is 27 years old. I heard a rumor, I'll be honest, I didn't Google it, that she announced that she is pregnant and is retiring after this Olympic Games. Trajan, this is just a random question for you outside of the Olympics, but I saw it, I have to ask you. What are your thoughts on Colorado's college football team putting the player's social media handle on the usernames on the backs of their jerseys? The point of it is to give the guys an opportunity to build their brand and give that unique outside the box offer perspective. What are your thoughts on that? It's brand new. No one's ever done it, so I'm just curious.
College football?
Yeah.
Well, that's Colorado. That's Colorado for you. Dion, that might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I've heard a lot of dumb things. I've heard myself talk sometimes. And that might be the dumbest thing I've heard. Wow.
I think it's just their practice jerseys, which is even weirder because, but I don't know about their game jerseys. I just know it's for sure the practice ones.
Well, if it is just the practice jerseys, I don't know how that helps them build their brand. Because outside of reporters, how many people are actually sitting there? But at the same time, okay, yeah, putting your social media handle would allow like somebody to just look you up direct. But if I go on Instagram right now and I searched Shiloh Sanders on Instagram, how many people got the name of Shiloh Sanders on Instagram? His Instagram is going to pop up, right? Or Travis Hunter. I can look him up, right? I can go through the roster. I can look up all these guys. I can find them pretty darn simply. So I just don't understand is building the brand. How is that going to? I don't see how that's going to benefit them, right? If you're a well-known college athlete, let's just say, I'm trying to think back, Bryce Young or Caleb Williams, right? Or Bo Nix, if Michael Penix. If you're a well-known college athlete, odds are people are already following you, right? You go look at all these people's social media platform pages, whatever you want to call it. They're pretty much loaded up with people already. Hundreds of thousands, millions, whatever. I don't know. I don't know exactly how many followers they have on social media, but you already have them. So what's the purpose of I don't get that. That is completely stupid to me. That is stupid to me. Colorado is like the laughing stock of football. It is. It's comical because last season they ranked them. They were so high. Deion Sanders is coming in. This team is going to be something. Oh my gosh, watch this. And I'll give it to him. I thought Travis Hunter, that first game I watched him, I can't remember. I believe they were playing like TCU or was it Kansas State? TCU, I believe. I believe they were playing TCU. It was a purple team out of the Big 12. And Travis Hunter was, exciting to watch. He played both sides of the ball. He was exciting to watch. But I didn't leave that game. I left that game saying Colorado's a decent team, but they're not a good team. And we saw that as the season went on. They got, they end up with 4 wins on the year? Like, bad. And yet they keep doing these stupid things throughout it, right? And then, I know you might not be a video game person out there, but the new college football game, right? The new college football game they just came out with, first time in 10 years that they've had a college football game for anyone to play. And all these athletes are in there. Sanders was the highest ranked quarterback on the list. I thought that was interesting. Now, I'm not going to say he's not a good player. He's a good player. But, man, they really, they like put a target on their back. They're hoping that somebody comes after them, right? That's what they want. It's one of those things that Sanders is all about. He wants to be talked about. He wants that, he wants to be public with everything. He's not a private guy. He's all out there. Let's just let everybody know what's going on up in our business. I don't know. I don't like the way that they're ran. I don't like the way that Colorado's functioning now as of right now. I honestly, I don't know. The social media, putting your username on the back of your jersey it's almost a disgrace to football. It is a disgrace to football, right? It's a lot of some teams don't have numbers on their backs or jersey or names on their back at all. Some don't, some do. But now you're putting social media usernames on there. Come on, it's a disgrace to the game at this point. Come on, somebody call it. Somebody call it as it is. It's just dumb. It is nothing but dumb at this point. What we're seeing right now, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think there, Autumn? What do you think of the social media usernames on the back of jerseys? Whether it's practice or practice doesn't even make sense at all. But whether it's practice or game jerseys, what do you think?
I'll be honest, when I saw the post initially, I was just scrolling real quick and I went back and did a double take because my first thought was like, are you serious? Like, had the same thought you did. Just dumb. Just like, and then my second thought was, what are we doing in sports here? You know, it's just one of those things where they care about too much but not the game they're playing for. It's just getting to a point where it's like, you're this is your job. You're getting paid a lot of money. I think if I saw it on an actual game jersey, I think it would be even worse. Is it stupid practice? Yeah, but it's one of those things where you're playing for the name on the front of the jersey, not the back. So if you're putting social media handles, it's just completely defeating the purpose of it. So I don't know. I think it was stupid. I agree with you. But I saw it and I kind of chuckled and I was like, I gotta see what Trajan thinks about that because I know the tangent was going to run. So
never happy thoughts. Never happy thoughts on this end there. So with that, I want to get to my question of the day here. My question of the day here. So my question to everybody out there, and I posted out there on social media, had a couple answers, but a little late before we kind of recorded there. So I'm going to get back to this question tomorrow there also and see what a lot of people think about it. So my question, if you had to choose a loss by your favorite sports team to change the outcome of, what would it be? So all time, everybody has that sports moment. You know, you're watching your favorite team play, whether it was the Packers, the Bucks, the Brewers, the Badgers, whether you're whatever fan Autumn is and she cheers for the Vikings, right? Skull Nation, baby. Haven't been to a Super Bowl in a while, but it's okay. It's okay. But if I had to choose, and I'm going to get to a couple of answers that I had actually out there on social media. Like I said, if you answer late, if I didn't get to your answer today, I'm going to get to it tomorrow, right? If you replied late or anything like that, if I didn't get to it, I'm going to get to it tomorrow. But mine would it's easily the one. I don't know if it's easily, but this one still lives in the back of my head every single day. Duke versus Wisconsin national championship. It lives in the back of my head. It does. Because that team, that Badger team, it might be the best we'll ever see. It might be. It may just be the best that there was, the best shot that we had for a national title, right? And the way that game was going, the Badgers had it. They were controlling everything. The first half was the Badgers. Everything was good. And then, lovely Coach K, the lovely man himself. I don't even, sometimes I listen to him talk. I don't even hate the guy completely. I just hate him as a coach. I hate him as a personality as a coach. I do. If I was a Duke fan, probably not. But as a personality, as a coach from an outsider looking in at that university, I hated watching him. He was in this, I can't remember what ref it was. I can't remember his exact name, but he's in his ear the entire first half about everything, right? Second half rolls around. Coach K's sitting down. Why is he sitting down now? The calls change. Everything that went towards the Badgers in the first half, everything that was going for them, went against them in that second half. Everything. And then to top it all off, we have instant replay. It was this great new thing that we had, this instant replay where the refs could walk over to the monitor and they can make the right call. Ball goes out of bounds. Badgers are losing at this point. Ball goes out of bounds. They call it off Wisconsin. Badgers say, hey, let's go take a look at this. So they go take a look at it. Everybody is sitting in their houses, even Duke fans, because my mother, she's a great lady, but she's a Duke fan, so I knock her for that. She's even a Duke fan. She's sitting there and she tells me, yeah, that ball's off Justice Winslow. You saw it, plain as day. Off his finger. You saw the finger go backwards. I don't know about you, but I can't sit here right now and I can't make my finger physically go backwards without something hitting. Right? If I take my other hand and I push it, it goes backwards, right? But outside of that, it don't go backwards. I watched his finger go backwards because the ball hit it. You watched it go off his finger. They look at the monitor, everybody, even the announcers, right? You had Bill Raftery and all them guys. Grant Hill was on the call, right? They're all sitting there. Jim Nance is on the call, and they're all sitting there, and they go, that ball is going to be Wisconsin's ball. It's Wisconsin's ball, right? Everybody's thinking Wisconsin's ball. Everybody in the stadium thinks it's Wisconsin's ball. Justice Winslow is sitting in the huddle thinking it's Wisconsin ball. They come out of the huddle. They come off the monitors. Duke ball. Duke ball. It had to be outside of, I think that was Gallegos' perfect game that umpire botched, and it was clear by about 3 steps out. Outside of that, it had to be one of the worst calls that's ever been made. And they didn't have instant replay for that call. They had instant replay for this call. They effed it up twice. How do you F it up twice? Once is enough. Twice? Come on now. That one, that has to be. I mean, there's a lot of good ones out there. But that one, it has to be my blunder. That just has to be. That was... I just don't, I have faith in my Badgers every year. It's just that was the year that it seemed like everything in that first half, it was like, yes. Maybe the second half it gets tighter, but this Badger team is on it. They're destined for it. There it was. Man. Autumn, I can pick yours for you. I know which one's yours. Brett Favre leading your Minnesota Vikings to the NFC Championship game. And, well, the Saints took him. Yeah, Brett Favre almost died, right? He had to take a lot of Vicodin in that game because he was getting hit late on every single play, right? But we didn't care. There's no late hits. It's just Brett Favre. He can barely walk, but it's just Brett Favre. Was I right? That had to be that, because that was the closest the Vikings would probably get to a Super Bowl. I mean, come on. Let's be realistic here. Autumn's shaking her head. Yeah, she doesn't want to say anything more. She's like, yeah, I have a lot of them. I got a lot of them here with the Vikings, but that would probably be the one. That'd probably be the one there. So, I mean, great stuff there. We did have a couple answers there. Ryan Larson there, he said, that Duke game makes me sick. I can still picture Coach K, the llama, complaining to the refs and then thinking we're screwed. Yep, 100%. I was with you. I was sitting there with you, right? I almost was in tears, man. I was almost in tears watching the end of that game because I was like, this is it. We went back-to-back years to the Final Four, lost the year before, finally made it to the national championship, right? And the first half was it was like cinema, and the second half was like, I need to shut this off, right? Bo Ryan says it best, right? He has all the VHS tapes. Like, this guy still got VHS tapes. That tells you how old Bo Ryan is. He's still got VHS tapes. But he's got every game film of every game he's ever coached. He has them all. He will not watch the Duke game. He can't. He can't force himself to it simply because of that. He can't force himself to watch it. That tells you right there. So, another one we had from Cassie Dustin Brooks there. Said Packers-Seahawks championship game, the beginning of the end of the Rodgers era with the Packers. Yep. Packers with the 16-7 lead going into the fourth quarter there. And, well, the onside went to overtime. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. If I had to rank mine, I would say the Duke. Well, it's tough because that Kentucky-Wisconsin game's up there too, because Harrison hit that big shot against Wisconsin there in the Final Four the year before. And I actually thought, if you look back at it, 2014 was probably a better shot for Wisconsin to win the national championship than they had in 2015 when they had to play Duke. If you ask me, I thought they actually made it past the tougher team in 2015 with Kentucky there again when they had to play Kentucky back-to-back years, right? But those two games are up there for me. The Brewers, Game 7, NLCS, at home, against the Dodgers. You had that feeling the Brewers are finally going to make it. They're finally going to go to the World Series. And, well, we saw the end of that one. But that Packers game, the onside kick, the disaster that happened in the fourth quarter late. I mean, man, that was bad. And you're right. I mean, the beginning of the end of the Rodgers era with the Packers. That was the beginning of the end right there. We didn't see it right then, but that was it. That nothing really to say after that, about Rodgers. Yeah, MVP seasons and everything like that, but the Packers truthfully never were running it like they were then. I mean, yeah, they made it and played the Buccaneers there in that championship. That was a terrible one. The Buccaneers game is up there. We have a lot of heartbreak in Wisconsin sports. That's for sure. We have a lot of heartbreak in Wisconsin sports. So, I mean, man, oh man with that one. But hey, like I said, if you didn't answer, if I didn't get to your answer today, and you do answer later on, I'm going to get to your answer tomorrow here on the show. So with that, we got to get to the Brewers because, oh my goodness, great. I mean, Autumn, before we get to the Brewers, just because this is going to lead to a blow up, I want to get to something a little happier before that. So let's get to Autumn with our fact of the day.
In Wisconsin, I thought it was pretty fitting. The hottest temperature recorded on Earth was 134 degrees Fahrenheit. This recording was taken in Death Valley, California in July in 1913.
Wasn't exactly happier. That'd be a reason why they call it Death Valley, I guess. 134 degrees. I wonder, 134 degrees, but I wonder what, was it a dry heat? I'm guessing a dry heat. If that was a humid 134, holy crap. The AC unit wouldn't be able to cool you off. Like, if it was a humid 130, wowza. I just felt a humid 88 this last week, and I thought I needed to sit in front of an AC unit the whole time. You're talking 134, that had to be a dry heat. I mean, holy crap. For all you Celsius fans out there, that's 56.67 Celsius, right? I mean, for all you Celsius people out there who don't enjoy the Fahrenheit, who don't enjoy it. I don't know. Maybe you're one of them people, but wow, 134 degrees, that is hot. That is hot. Was that actually the Celsius reading you had on there, Autumn?
Yeah, that's the legit Celsius reading.
Oh, holy crap. You know when the number gets high in Celsius, that it's really hot. That's as far as I know about Celsius to Fahrenheit. So, with that, we got some Brewer talk to get to. Autumn, I mean, we went into this last weekend, and I said before the weekend this was a big series. The Brewers needed to get it. They needed to get it. I mean, you look at the Brewers over the last month, and like I talked about the other day, yeah, great. Everybody else is losing. That's fantastic. Everybody else is losing games. Makes the Brewers stay up top by 5 games. Wouldn't you like to be up 7? I mean, anybody? Come on. Anybody out there, wouldn't you like to maybe be up 7 games, right? Possibly have a bigger lead in the division? Nah, that's okay. That's okay. Everybody else is losing, so we're fine losing too, right? We're fine losing. No. And then we go play this Nationals team, who I don't know if anybody has noticed this yet, but the Nationals are not in playoff contention. They're 51-61. They are not in playoff contention. They were sellers at the trade deadline, right? So I see a lot of people, well, this was a trap team. Right? Every bad team we play from here on out is going to be a trap team. They have nothing to play for, right? They have nothing to play for. Does that make it better when you lose to them? Does that make you feel better? Is when you call them a trap? Wow, we got beat by a trap team. Guess what? Those losses to trap teams will add up when it comes down the stretch, right? Because, okay, by that scenario, here's the trap teams for the Brewers, right? They play the Braves. That's not a trap team, right? But then they play the Reds. There you go. There's 3 games against a trap team. You play the Dodgers, Guardians. Those aren't trap teams. St. Louis, they're chasing you right now, right? That St. Louis series in a couple weeks, that might be a series that is for the lead in the division if they keep playing like this. Oakland A's, trap team. San Francisco, trap team. Cincinnati, trap team. Colorado, trap team. How many more trap teams do you, are we going to lose to every trap team? Do we want to lose every series? Oh, great. We lost every series to a trap team, but hey, we tied in a series against a good team, right? We took 2 out of 4 from the Dodgers. I would love that, but I'd also love before that 2 out of 4 from the Dodgers, we take 2 out of 3 from the Cincinnati Reds because the Cincinnati Reds aren't supposed to be as good as you, right? But the Brewers seem to want to play down to everybody. We get against good teams, and it's like, oh, we can figure it out, right? We play the Cardinals. Brewers can win those games. Pitching looks good. But then we go play the Nationals. And destruction. it's like destruction just happens. We can't figure out how to score runs. We're facing a pitching staff without anybody, right? If these sellers like the Nationals who are selling out guys, if they still have pitchers in the bullpen or in the starting rotation, either A, they're really young and not that good yet, right? Or B, nobody wanted them. Why would nobody have wanted them? But the Brewers go into these series, and it's not just the National Series. It's the Miami Marlins series. It's the Nationals in the series before when they played them. The Colorado Rockies series. The Pittsburgh Pirates series. All these series against bad teams that we've had in the last month where we can't figure it out. And yet, a lot of these great, like I always say, a lot of these other people out there, they're all saying, well, it's okay. It's okay. We're still, we're still 5 games up in the division. Cardinals are in the series with the Cubs right now. What if the Cardinals get on a little bit of a burner, right? What if the Cardinals get on a little bit of a burner and slowly but surely start to win series? And the Brewers can't figure it out. They can't find ways to win series, right? Because right now they're playing this Cubs. They're playing this Cubs team, okay? So they play the Cubs. And then they have a game against the Mets. Then they play Tampa Bay, who is another one of those trap teams, right, that we love to talk about. They are not up in the division right now. They are playing for essentially nothing at this point. Kansas City Royals, that's a good team. But then they play the Reds, okay? Then they have the Dodgers before they come play the Brewers. Tampa Bay, Reds. If they win those series there, if they win the game against the Mets, right, and they end up winning the series against the Rays and somehow taking 1-2 from the Kansas City Royals, in that same stretch, in that same time period, the Brewers will be facing the Dodgers and the Guardians, right? 2 of the better teams in baseball. Right there could be the division lead. Right there. And that could set up that Brewers-Cardinals series to be a Brewers are up by 2 games. Brewers are up by 1 game. Or if worst case scenario, maybe the records are tied, right? I don't know. This Brewers team right now is mightily struggling. And yes, they've had injuries galore over the past, couple. I mean, we're talking about some of your big hitters in the bullpen. Brian Hudson. He goes down. He is making his rehab starts now, or rehab appearances now with Nashville, so hopefully he get him back soon. Trevor McGill, he's down, right? Those are 2 big hitters right there. Jared Koenig, just coming back. And then you also lose Zastrinski, who has been good for the Brewers. Zastrinski has been good. So, what do you do? Hoby Milner, you look at him in that series against the Nationals. He comes in. Tobias Myers had a very good start. Right? 1 run. He gave up 1 run in 5 innings of work there. Got the Brewers to the 6th inning in a 1-0 deficit, right? 1-0. That's not bad. Your offense is stinking, right? But Tobias Myers pitched well. Here comes Hoby Milner out of the bullpen. 3 earned runs, 4 hits. He had a strikeout in there in a third of an inning. He got through a third of an inning. He couldn't get himself out of it. That worries you. And then, the Brewers, they got to find a way to get Savali out of there. You look at these trade deadline acquisitions that the Brewers made, right? Frankie Montas. I'm not going to shoot on Frankie Montas' start because, I can't. He had 1 start, right? He had 1 start. It's really tough to shoot down Frankie's 1 start. 5 innings, 5.40 ERA, gave up 3 runs in his start. Not great, but you can live with it, right? Savali, since coming to the Brewers, 25 innings he's pitched in. That ERA is still sitting at 5.39, and he gave up 5 runs to the Nationals in the first 2 innings. I tell you what, and this just might be me, but when you're struggling on the offensive side of the ball, 5 runs in the first 3. My mistake there. 5 runs. Autumn corrected me there. 5 runs in the first 3. But when you're struggling as an offense to score runs, I don't know, Autumn. I guess here you go. Autumn played college softball. She was a very good softball player. And she would have an input on this one. When you are struggling on the offensive side. Your team is struggling to score runs, struggling to push across runs. When your pitcher goes out there in the first couple innings and you're in a 5-0 hole to start the game, it's already been a struggle. We've seen it. It's been a struggle for the offense to push runs across. 4 runs for the Brewers in that game seems like a lot right now for this team. And this team, I mean, you start out in a 5-0 hole. You're going into the 4th inning down 5-0. Would you say it's, I mean, that's a kind of a shot right there? Like, it's hard. It's hard to come back from that then because you're already struggling. Now you're in a 5-0 hole. Now you're chasing, right? You're chasing a number. So now the offense gets a little more pressure on them moving forward. I don't know, Autumn, what do you think on that? I mean, the starting pitching staff for the Brewers, Freddie's pitched well, Myers has pitched well, Calore's pitched well, but Savali and some of these other guys, and even in some of those other guys' starts there, I mean, Brewers chasing runs on the offensive side, that's a struggle.
I mean, yeah, it's a huge struggle. I think, and then I think that's another thing of where are our big bats coming in? I mean, it's one of those things where, okay, you get down in the I think you said about the first three innings. Is that what you said? You get down in the first 3 innings, and you still have the rest of that game left. But then it's one of those things where who's going to be the one to step up and change the game? I think that's the question. I think we've talked about this in other recent podcasts with Christian Yelich, where it's like, if he's our only bat, then we have a little bit of a problem. I mean, it's one of those things where we need people to step up, whether it's Frelick or Churio, those young guys. Sometimes it's the young guys that step up and then the veterans kind of follow, or vice versa. I think that's what the Brewers need to find, where if the pitching staff they're doing okay, but there's a little bit of struggle. I mean, that's that, but this is something where our pitching staff can't be our whole team. I think our bats need to find something, and I think there needs to be somebody to step up and change the game here.
Yeah. No, that was bold. That was a bold take right there. Bold take. I like that. I mean, yeah, I agree. The bats have been cold. Starting in a hole doesn't help. But, like Autumn was saying there, the bats have been cold, and you want to look, yes, I would love to see production out of Churro and Frelick and those guys, but those aren't my big guys, right? Those aren't my big guys. I want to look at the big guys, right? William Contreras. Has anybody checked in on William Contreras as of late? Because in the last 7 games, he's batting .095. .095 for William. He has 6 walks, 4 strikeouts, 1 home run, 2 hits in 21 at-bats. 2 hits in 21 at-bats. This is a guy who started the year, we were talking about this guy for MVP conversations. Not anymore. Not anymore with that. Last 15 games, 222. Last 30 games, 230 for William Contreras. Big bats, right? I mean, Autumn was right. Where are you talking big bats right now? That's one of your big bats. He's not even there. He's better off not even being there at that point. Willie Adames. I mean, Willie's Willie. 231 over the last 7, 298 over the last 15. Willie has actually been statistically better than William Contreras, and yet we're all shooting on Willie Adames right now, right? And I mean, looking at Willie's numbers the last 7, not great, right? But statistically, been hitting better than what William Contreras has, and yet a lot of people love to shoot on him. Rhys Hoskins has been a no-show basically all season long. But over the last 7 games, 280 hitter, right? So Hoskins is starting to bring it back, but now where's everybody else, right? Is anybody else going to get it going? Frelick was a name you brought up there, and I mean, Frelick has been doing his part. 316 average over the last 7 games. Yes, over the last 15, 234, but over the last 30 games, 296 average for Frelick. You know, with Frelick, he's not a, you know, like you were saying there with your big bats, right? With the big bats. Frelick's not a big bat. He's a contact bat. And I think that's where, you know, it's so hard to rely on a guy like Frelick to be a big producer simply because of he is not that big, you know, double hitter. He's not the power hitter. He's a contact guy. He's a guy to put it in play. Jackson Chourio, last 7 games, 333 average, 349 in the last 15, 331 in the last 30 games there. I mean, it's going through these guys left and right here and seeing how they've been doing. A guy that actually has been impressive over the last 7 has been Garrett Mitchell. Over the last 7 games, 533. Over the last 15, he's batting 390. And over the last 30, 313. I mean, Mitchell has been heating up at the plate there. The big bat, like you said there, the big bats are a big thing for the Brewers right now, but the big bat's not showing up to drive in runs. And that's been a problem all season long for this Brewers team, and it's really showing its ugly head right now. It is showing it right now with this Brewers team. Yes, it's honestly collectively as a whole, right? I started out this conversation steered towards the pitching. The pitching has struggled. Autumn came in, she steered it back to the offense. The offense is struggling to produce runs, right? As I just talked about there, I mean, you have guys throughout this order right now who are hitting. I mean, they are hitting the baseball. They're doing their parts in it, but it's not producing. They can't come up with that timely hit. Where's that timely hit? And a lot of that's attributed to, like I said, we were talking about there a second ago, early on this season with William Contreras, how well he was hitting the ball, right? Joey Ortiz is another guy. Over the last 7 games, he's batting 174. Over the last 15, he's batting 170. Over the last 30 games, he's batting 172. 172. Where did everybody go? And I mean, we could keep going. We could keep going on this list all day long. Bryce Terang, 227 over the last 7, 164 over the last 15, 196 over the last 30. It's like a night and day difference with these guys. What we saw early on versus what we're seeing now. A torrid hot start that all of a sudden ran into a wall, and now we can't figure it out again. We can't find the bats. It's there for a second, then it's gone, right? Early on this season, it was almost consistency, small ball. I talked about it. It was probably a month in, and I said, I love the small ball, but we're not really utilizing the small ball as much anymore, right? I mean, early on it was bunt. We're bunting guys over. We're bunting for hits. We're doing these little things. I'm not seeing that as much anymore. Bryce Terang, not seeing it as much, right? I don't know. This, man, oh man. The Brewers are treading in dangerous waters right now. They are treading in dangerous waters. There's a lot to get into with this. We only got to the overreaction part, right? And like I said, a lot of this might be an overreaction, right? Might be okay. It's just an overreaction Monday. You guys know that. We go through a weekend, we got to overreact. That Nationals series made me overreact. Possibly overreact. Maybe I'm spot on. I don't know. This Brewers team's in trouble. They're in trouble. They got to find it, right? They got the Nationals coming up this week here. They got an off day today, taking on the Nationals. Then they play the Reds, Dodgers, and Guardians all back to back to back. Those are playoff team. Reds are, a scary team for the Brewers. Dodgers are the 2 seed in the NL right now. And the Guardians are the number 1 seed in the AL, right? So you're playing 3 top teams in baseball, right? In a 2-week stretch. You can't figure it out now. Like I said, that Cardinals series rolls around. You might be sitting in a 1-game lead. You might be sitting 2 games up. And then you're treading dangerous waters. Because yes, the Cardinals are still the Cardinals. Are they playing the greatest baseball that they could play? No. But the Brewers aren't either. If the Cardinals find it a little bit, they're playing some pretty good ball. If the Cardinals find it a little bit, scary times. Scary times with that there. So we got lots more to get into with the Brewers here tomorrow on the show as we preview that Braves game 1 of that series. Also, like I said, talking more Brew Crew talk. Lots to get into tomorrow here on the show. Autumn, you got anything else to add before we wrap it up here?
Brewers or in general?
Whatever you got. You got anything in general to add?
No, not really. Not for today. I think the overreaction is plateaued a little bit. So let's do the Wisconsin Sports Jeopardy before we head out.
Wisconsin Sports Jeopardy. We have time for 3 questions. 3 questions here.
All right. Brewers, Packers, Bucks, or Badgers?
Did I guess them all already?
No. So you guessed Brewers 200, Packers, Bucks 100, and Badgers 200.
Go with whatever one I haven't guessed here for 100.
Brewers 100. The Brewers' all-time leader in hits.
Brewers' all-time leader in hits. Brewers all-time.
It's my favorite baseball player of all time.
Well, Eric Thames wasn't there long enough for
Whatever.
that. And Christian Yelich hasn't been in the Brewers uniform for that long. Ryan Braun's my favorite. He's just a dog. I'm going to go with Mr. Robin Yount himself.
That is correct. Named our first dog after him. Badgers 100.
Sure.
What's the mascot's nickname?
That's rough. Let's go with Bucky for 100.
Correct. All right. Packers or Bucks? You have 200, otherwise the rest are all 3 to 500.
Packers.
Last one. The Packers' most famous football coach.
I would love to say Mike McCarthy. I would love to say Holmgren. But I'm going to have to go with Vince Lombardi.
That is correct.
You know, these 500 questions must be just grueling. They must be just grueling. Ah, man. That must be a tough one. So, with that, that's about all we got. Great day. Great day of sports talk there. Like I said, we got lots to get into tomorrow. More about the Brewers. Maybe, take a day. We'll cool off. We'll come back. We'll talk more Brewers tomorrow, right? Cool off a little bit. Cool off a little bit and get back at it, right? That's all we can do. That's all we can do. Hopefully we feel better tomorrow. But we will. Everything's going to be okay, Brewer fans. We know it. It'll be okay. They'll make it to the postseason. We'll be living high once again. Not Miller High. Not high life, right? None of that. That's junk. But with that, like I always say, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you find us out there. Follow us on them social media platforms. Leave a review. Rate us here wherever you're listening, on iTunes, on Spotify, wherever you're listening. Drop down. Leave a review. Click the send us a text message in the bio of the show. You can send us fan mail. Let us know. Maybe you had an answer to something we said on the show, a different thought, something you're thinking out there. Definitely get out there. Let us know how you're feeling there. So with that, this has been Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. Thank you guys for listening. We hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Monday. But until we talk to you guys again tomorrow, deuces.
Yeah, oh my Lord, watch me sway. Darkness falls and we all pray, hoping for the light of day. Down to the river I have held the devil's hand, felt the weight of my own sin, burdened by the heart of man. Down to the river, down to the river.